So I'm just heading up the trail now, and I've remembered I've left my raincoat in the car. So, a good start because I remembered to take it with me on the trip. Often that's the sort of thing I forget, but yeah, it makes no difference in my car. Actually, I'm in my van today. It's in my van. And my backpack cover, my waterproof backpack cover, it's offline about in the Lake District somewhere. Unfortunately, it's that unnecessary pollution that obviously it was never intended for, and I just haven't replaced it yet. So we're just going to keep going now and hope for the best. I'm following the path. So I'm following the path round, and I'm choosing now to do like it's what I call front loading effort. So I'm doing what I think is going to be the hardest part first, whilst I've got a bit more energy, and then as I'm going, hopefully it's going to become easier. So that's my main sort of plan often, front loading effort. And that's something that I apply to everything. I'm just checking out on the trail. So we're going to be following the trail for quite a bit. We're going to be climbing for quite a bit. Actually, I need to put my watch on. And hopefully it's going to be a really nice time. I'll catch up with you soon. Last time I got out was a few weeks ago in the Lake District. A really great trip, but also very tiring. We'd ended up not sleeping very well. We stayed in the YHA. We ended up sleeping not very well at all. And it was so hard. Cat Bells, which, if you're familiar with the Lake District, it's not by any means like one of the biggest hills or anything at all. It's one of those, you got to get over like the first peak to then get up there. There was like a little bit of scrambling, so there was like some quite rocky bits at the top, which isn't unusual for hills. I'm well aware of that. But the weather was so terrible. Got to go right ahead down here on one side of the wall. I can go right on the other side of the wall. I'm thinking it's down here. If I've got my phone out. Oh, is it? Oh, these things make it so difficult. We'll get on here, we can turn around if we need to. So anyway, so we climbed up Cat Bells, and oh my gosh, the weather was terrible. It was so windy, it was so wet, which, it wasn't a surprise. We knew the weather wasn't going to be great, but we'd booked to stay at the hostel. My friend had organised childcare. I'd booked the time off work. So we're doing that, and we got to the top, and it was awful. It was so windy. It was almost unbearable at points. It was so wet and windy that we decided it just wasn't safe to go down the way we were coming. That was not to be. Just like, you can see like the rocks with like the moss over it, beautiful trees. Oh, it just looks so lovely, doesn't it? So I think I'm going to have to probably hurry up a little bit because, like I said, I haven't started early in the day at all. I've got up, done a bit of work, done some of my jobs, done a bit of shopping, packed, and then had to drive here, so. Navigate over this carefully. So what's on the other side of this wall then? Let me see. So I think that might be private land. I also think I've accidentally walked through it before as well. You'll notice that I often don't have a plan. And when I do, I don't always stick to it. I'm one of those people where I'm calm in chaos. I'm chaos in calm. If I have a plan, that's going to be nice and easy. Yeah, that's hard to stick to. So yeah, there's always got to be something going on. But I tell you what, if there's chaos, if there's an emergency, I'm actually really very level-headed. I'm really good at problem solving. So yeah, so when it's chaos, I'm pretty calm. I can cope with that. But then I am the chaos in the calm. Oh, it's just beautiful, isn't it? I love how across us, all the light's just pouring through in those patches. I can never decide if paths are worse or if like steps are worse. Not that these are definitely steps, but what's more difficult? Feeling like you're on a stairmaster or walking up a hill? And I don't know what the answer is. I think the worst one is whichever one I'm doing at the time. So the first ever solo hike I did was in the Peak District. Obviously by myself. I'm one of the only ones out of my friends and family that doesn't have children. So while most of my friends are pretty tied down with obviously looking after the kids, their own work commitments, and just their own lives. Yeah, so I thought, you know what? People just don't seem to be free, can't be free, don't want to be free. And you know, that's their prerogative. But last year, I thought, you know what? I'll just do it myself. And I tell you what, it was really liberating. Hard, but really liberating. There's so many little cut throughs. I think people must be climbing this path and thinking, actually, I've changed my mind. I don't want to go right up there anymore. I just want to go down and around. There's the odd hills on the way back on the other side of the dam, but to be honest, not many, so keep climbing right now. So I'll just keep climbing. But yeah, so last year I just thought, you know what, I'll do it myself. I'll go out myself. I'll plan something myself. Stay over myself. And yeah. And obviously YouTube was a huge inspiration for me. And Instagram. Seeing all these other amazing people. Men and women, but for me obviously a lot of women were inspirational doing stuff. And I'm very much a if they can do it, I can do it person. Not necessarily well or quickly, but oh, look at that. But yeah, I'm very much of the if someone else has learned to do it or developed the skills, fitness, stamina, whatever, then I can do it too. Yeah, so we will climb. We will climb over the stonier parts, leave the landslip slide looking part. Just slow and steady. I'm going to try and pick up some speed here because I'm a slower climber naturally, and we're talking a lot. God, when I look at that, that looks like the kind of scene I feel could be in a Western movie, you know, like on Yellowstone or something. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the concept of the lone bagpiper, but there's a lone sheep just up there watching me. So, maybe tell by the terrain, I was down there when I spoke to you last. I messed up. I was meant to go up, not round. I'm blaming my phone, although it's probably user error. I always forget that your phone, it picks up the direction that the actual phone itself is pointing, which baffles me. But I obviously had it pointing one way, different to what I was thinking, however it works out. Time here because there's lots of little rocks and they're all quite loose, and I'd really like to avoid falling and hurting myself. Take my time here because there's lots of little rocks and they're all quite loose, and I'd really like to avoid falling and hurting myself. Well, I've got my proper boots on today, but slow and steady. Walking obviously is a skill. You learn it for most of us as like babies, toddlers, children, and then we kind of just take it for granted, don't we, that we can walk. And then you do things like this and you realise actually there's a whole lot more to walking, certainly in these conditions, than simply like walking around your house or walking down your street. Walking uphill obviously is a different kind of skill. Walking downhill, different kind of skill. Downhill for me, it requires a lot more energy. I'm a lot slower. I mean, I'm pretty slow going uphill as well. I'm very conscientious when I'm coming downhill. I don't want to slip and fall. And obviously, like I said, I'm on my own today, so obviously needs to make sensible decisions for everybody. Actually come up a lot higher than I thought we were going to at the start of the walk. I thought we were going to when I planned the route, and then obviously when we started the walk. So we've just come through that gate and now we're walking down here. down now towards the reservoir on this not super steep but stone path that I'm still not sure if I prefer the stones or the mud. But yeah, we've just walked through that part which is maintained by the National Trust. So there's some members there actually replacing the gates. What a cool job. Cool on days like this, I imagine. Really nice being outside, take your dog to work, but then on days where it's wet and windy and cold, obviously more challenging. And look at this view. Look how beautiful that is. I don't know if you can see in the distance the part of the reservoir bridge, the dam. I can't remember what it's called, Lady Bower Bridge maybe. You head on up there and you continue on Snake Pass on the road. So yeah, so this is the reservoir. I can't really see an awful lot down there, but so we are now walking back. So despite the fact that I got lost, turn you around. Despite the fact that I got, well, not fully lost, obviously I have a map and I could read it. Took a detour. We got back there, got back up the same hill twice, and round and down here. My only disappointment is obviously I've misread the route and we haven't passed the cafe, so I'll just make my own coffee in my van. That'll be roughly the end of this video now. I hope you've enjoyed the walk and talk, walk along. Yeah, I'll put the link for the route in the description. So I'll link it. It's on the OS Maps. I use that app. It's the free version I've used. I haven't paid for it. I think I will, but I haven't actually paid for it yet. So I'll link that if you want to do this. If you've seen it and think, yeah, it looks good. I'm not a super fit person. I do go walking and hiking. I find it hard. I find the easy versions of stuff hard. So, I mean, obviously you need to be able to climb and look after yourself, but not a difficult route, not super hard. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, my first vlog on YouTube.